Presumably you do quite a lot of training for what you do, preparation and...
Yeah, my training, it sort of varies really depending on what race I've sort of got coming up. So, sometimes I'll train 5 days a week, other times I'll train up 7 days a week. But I usually have a long run, so that long run might be anything from 4 hours upwards. I have actually at one point I had to do a 10-hour run, training run, which I don't mind, but when it's on your own, most of my training, 90% of my training is on my own. So when you have to go out for 10 hours and the car is your sort of checkpoint, and I have to say I did get to 8 miles, 8 hours, and I just got into the car and I thought, I'm so going home now. And I did. I went home and I said to my trainer, I said, I'm sorry. I said, I only did 8 hours because I really couldn't face leaving my car. It was really cold and wet. But, I do everything from, I do some tyre dragging. So I put a tyre around my waist and, do hill reps with a tyre. I'll go out and do speed work, tempo running. So it's a real sort of variety of sort of stuff. But I always also make sure that every 4th or 6th week I have a sort of a recovery week where I take my training down, because if you're constantly training hard all the time, your body just can't, it needs to have time to recover. So I quite enjoy my recovery week actually. It means I can do some ironing or housework and things, because otherwise it tends to mount up. So so it's quite intense.
Have you had any serious injuries?
I've had a few injuries actually. The most recent one, well, in 2008 I did a race in the Atacama, and I remember I twisted my left ankle really quite badly, and so somebody then lent me some walking poles. So I finished the race. I finished first lady, which I was quite surprised about, but when I got back, my ankle wasn't in a good way at all. And then I think it was 10 weeks later I then went and did another race, and then I had my joggle world record attempt, and it completely it damaged my ankle quite badly, so my ligaments and my tendons got quite badly stretched. So my left ankle is my sort of Achilles heel. My osteopath is fantastic. He's put me back together, he's realigned me, he's done lots of things. So actually, I touch wood again, I very rarely have any issues with it. And then last year I got my foot, I was racing on the Pennine Way, and I got my foot stuck between 2 of the slabs, and I carried on going, and my knee went completely the wrong way, and I carried on going for another sort of 120 miles until suddenly, actually it was quite painful, and my ankle had swollen up and my knee was quite swollen, and it's only just recovered. So it's almost 2 years. I'm 53, so I want to be racing or running for as long as I can. Well, if I'm silly now and I go back and I'm going to cause even more damage to my body, well, actually then I can't be running in sort of 5-10 years time. So if my osteopath says to me, Mimi, you cannot run for 4 weeks, I do have a sort of a moment, but he says, after 3 weeks you can do X, Y and Z. I think, okay, that's fine. So for 3 weeks I don't run. My husband is thrilled when I'm finally allowed to do some exercise, because he doesn't have a grumpy wife. But I do as I'm told. So, I think that's important.
Obviously we want to carry on doing things as long as you can, but with age you do have to sort of make sure you don't exercise too little, as well as not overdoing it, because you don't want to lose too much, do you? Well,
you've got to keep your body active. If you're not going to do... if you're not going to run or cycle, that's fine. It doesn't matter. But go out for a walk. Go out for a walk for 20 minutes each day. Do something, because actually if you don't, your body will seize up. I know if I don't do anything, just sitting at a computer for half an hour, you get up and you can just feel, how stiff your joints are. Well, imagine if you're not doing any form of exercise at all. And it just makes you feel so much better going outside and getting a bit of fresh air. Love it.
Support must be very important.
Oh, I have a fantastic support team. I really do. I'm very lucky. If as you said, with the long events that I do, some of them I need to have people there who look after me. So I have, I have Becky, I have Paul, my husband comes along as well. And, you know, and I've had various other people over the years who have been amazing, but their job is to look after me. It sounds awful, doesn't it? You know, but we work as a team, so all the planning gets put into place. You know, the goal is to get me to the finish, get a new record, whatever it might be, and they know what that goal is. You know, they do everything. They always say, my team, that I have the easy job because all I do is run, which actually is probably quite true. But they do everything else. I mean, they literally, they have to feed me, they have to make sure that I'm all right. Becky will massage me. If I'm having a low point, they have to motivate me and get me going again. They are absolutely excellent, couldn't do without them. Love them.